make a quick one about talking about quitting drugs and you know, basically all mind-altering substances that put you into a state of being that's like basically anything other than sober. I mean, minus teas and stuff like that, because I wouldn't say that those are particularly dangerous in any kind of way unless you abuse them. But basically, the whole thing that I'm getting to is how I got, or how I've been getting off of drugs, or like letting them go for real, for how I've been legitimately letting them go for forever, and basically reprogramming my mind to believe that my sober state is basically better, and it's just better in every way for myself and everybody around me to be in, and it's moving myself to understand that any feelings that I thought that I needed or could or had on drugs, I can actually produce for myself, just being sober, and by thinking, or basically thinking the feeling into existence. And I figure also the amount of effort just put mentally, not even physically, but just mentally, into just thinking about things to make myself feel better, or things that will make me feel better, or get rid of my problems, or anything like this, like looking for this magic pill. It's like, I don't know, I'd equate it to cutting my own wrist and wondering why I'm bleeding out on the floor, but yet still doing it. And anyways, so basically what I did was, for nicotine in general, or nicotine in particular, what I did was I would just, for about 6 months, I completely stopped smoking cigarettes and vaping, because I noticed that particularly vaping was one of the worst ones that I could have had, one of the worst addictions that I could have had, because every time that I would like lose the vape, or just like not know where it was, or just I literally felt like I like needed to go to it and in order to like you know, feel better or whatever, and then like I didn't know where it was, or it wasn't where I thought it was, I would have like a mini panic attack. And when that started happening more and more often, I started being like, okay, I can understand that this is absolutely ridiculous, and that I don't need to be doing this, and it's causing me a lot more pain than it is pleasure. But I had to go for 6 months or so, just observing myself. Every time that I would have a craving, I would notice that and tell myself, okay, this was a craving, and then I would let myself indulge in my cravings. And I just did that until logically I was telling myself more that I didn't want it than that I did. And I legitimately started convincing myself that I felt better being sober than I did while I was on nicotine. And it sounds it sounds like it's too easy or whatever, but it actually works. Basically, I just told myself, like, okay, like you can keep using it as long as you want to, but just know that like I wanted to quit soon. And like I would just notice that when I took it, I wouldn't feel better. I would actually just feel more and more craving for more and more substance. And I noticed that I wake up in the morning, and one morning I was just like, because I noticed that I had the biggest cravings for it in the morning, and right before I went to sleep. And in the morning, one day I was just like, I'm just not even gonna touch it, and went the entire day and noticed that just the fact of not touching it the first time made it 10 times easier for me to go the entire day. And then after one day, I'm like, well, I made it one day, why can't you go 2? And then so I went 2. And then you made it 2 days, why can't you go a lifetime. And so now I'm just on the way to doing that. But the point that I'm making is that the way that I stopped taking it was by basically just reprogramming my brain to realize what it was actually doing subjectively or objectively to my body. And I was noticing that all of these subjectively good things that I thought were good about it were actually things that was making my body actually feel worse, and it was making my mental state worse, and it was just not working out very well. So, you know, just drop that. But I've been noticing after dropping that, these habits and stuff have been coming back up, and they're becoming real apparent. And it's not bad or anything, it's just it's taking up a lot of energy. Just trying to redirect all of my energy and focus back to creating stuff, and like basically just being productive in some sort of a way. I'm having so many opportunities and so much stuff come up, and a lot of it I almost feel like I squandered in a way because of just not feeling like I just wasn't up to doing anything, because I guess I just kind of lost the zest that I had in life, mostly just from not feeling like there was really much for me to give to anybody, or like that basically like everybody has this stuff that they have to figure out for themselves, and I'm not going to be able to convince anybody else anything otherwise, or this was the way that I was thinking, you know, at the time or whatever. And so I just didn't do anything, and I just didn't care to do anything. But I'm noticing now that excuse me, that there's so many people out here, and there's so many people in this world that even just helping one person with anything that I have to say, if it can help somebody, then it's worth it. One singular person. Yeah, I want to go deeper into talking about this, like convincing, basically reprogramming your brain or mind to respond with your body and to work with your body rather than to work against your body. Because I think that a lot of people who get addicted to drugs and things like that, legitimately, like, they don't know how to sit in their body. And you know, me included, like, I've never knew how to sit in my body. I never knew, like, I wasn't able to make myself comfortable, or just really ever be comfortable, unless I had something else externally to like make me feel comfortable. And I think that developing a program to help people to be able to basically rewire their brains or their minds to be able to basically see the light on the other side of the tunnel, or to readjust their eyes to where they can actually see the light instead of being so stuck in the darkness. It's mostly just being able to realize that you can produce those feelings that you're looking for in the drugs without the drugs, and it's just having the experience of doing that and recognizing consciously that that's what's happening while you're having the experience of doing it. And then once you have that experience though, then you're like off to the races, because then you realize that you can literally be 10 times, 100,000 times happier sober than you can while you're on anything else. The only reason why, you know, like why you end up not feeling like that is because you lose sight of the fact that you create all of your own feelings. But it's just like catching yourself in the middle of your I would say insane thinking patterns, and basically just bringing yourself back to a state of centeredness, or it's centeredness of thoughts. And then just basically what I do a lot of times is one of the ways that I'll ground myself is that I'll just bring my awareness back to my surroundings, and I'll start trying to think of ways that I'm thankful or grateful for my surroundings, and like things that I see in my surroundings that I normally would like everybody's had these times in their life where they basically felt really, really grateful, or I'm sure most people have, not everybody, but like most people have had these times in their lives where they felt really grateful for everything. And if you think back onto that time, think about what you were grateful about, and I'm sure that there's at least one thing that you could pick out from those times that you can see in your life now, and start to feel that gratefulness again. And then once you start to feel the gratefulness, it kind of works like a snowball effect, and it will compile on itself more and more until your mood starts to change too. And that's a big one, is just being grateful about the stuff that is around you and just finding things to be grateful about. This is one of the biggest things, because most people, when they become depressed, they can't find anything to be grateful about. Kind of sucks, but yeah. I don't know. So to go into that a little bit, and I'll make more. I was gonna make a whole thing on helping people become sober, but have a good day.